Build me a throne worthy of Mordor.
The most dangerous betrayals aren't sudden. They're slow, creeping, and often start with the best intentions. For many, Saruman the White was once the wisest of the Istari, the leader of the White Council, and the most powerful of the 5 wizards sent by the Valar. And yet, when we meet him in The Lord of the Rings, he is already fallen, corrupted by his lust for power, ensnared by Sauron's will, and ultimately reduced to a pitiful figure, powerless and defeated. But was Saruman's fall inevitable? Was he doomed before he even set foot in Middle-earth? Today we unravel the tragedy of Saruman, the warning in his story, and why his fate was sealed long before he turned against his allies. If you love deep dives into Tolkien's world, make sure to like this video and subscribe. We've got plenty more lore to explore. Let's get started. Saruman was not always the figure of betrayal we remember. His true name was Curunir, and before he took on the form of a wizard, he was Curumo, a Maya spirit of great knowledge and skill. He served the Vala Aule, the same great smith who created the dwarves. But this connection to Olu is important, because another Maya also served Ole before turning to darkness, Mehron, whom we now know as Sauron. Both Saruman and Sauron shared an admiration for order, structure, and control. While Saruman was never inherently evil, he possessed an obsession with knowledge and dominance that would eventually lead him down a dark path. When the Valar sent the 5 Istari, wizards, to Middle-earth, Saruman was appointed as the leader. But was he truly the wisest? Or was he merely the most ambitious? Even from the beginning, envy, pride, and a hunger for power stirred within him. And in Middle-earth, where the will of Eru Ilúvatar allowed for free choice, Saruman would slowly shape his own destruction.
They will find the ring and kill the one who carries it. Frodo.
Despite being the head of the White Council, Saruman harbored deep-seated jealousy toward Gandalf. Why? Because Gandalf was everything Saruman wished to be. While Saruman relied on political maneuvering, Gandalf won people over with wisdom and kindness. Saruman studied Sauron's craft to understand power. Gandalf understood that true strength came from the simplest of beings, hobbits, men, and the free peoples of Middle-earth. And most importantly, Gandalf was trusted by the Valar in ways Saruman never was. We see this clearly when Círdan the Shipwright gifts Gandalf Narya, the Ring of Fire. Círdan was a wise elf lord, and of all the Istari, he saw that Gandalf was the one most worthy of this power. This moment deeply wounded Saruman's pride. Why should Gandalf, his supposed lesser, be trusted with such power? From this moment on, his jealousy festered. Saruman's descent truly begins when he starts studying Sauron too closely. At first, it was logical. How better to defeat an enemy than by understanding his ways? But as Saruman delved deeper into Sauron's mind, he became ensnared by the same lust for control. We see his shift in these key moments. He secretly searches for the One Ring, hoping to claim it for himself.
Go now. Leave Sauron to me.
He abandons the mission of the Istari, choosing dominion over Middle-earth instead. He begins breeding armies of Uruk-hai, corrupting life itself, just as Morgoth once did. His symbolic turning point is when he creates his own version of Sauron's forces, proving he no longer sees himself as Middle-earth's protector, but as its ruler-to-be. And yet, the most tragic part of Saruman's fall is that he believed he was still in control. Before we continue with the video and my further explanation about the fall of Saruman, I want to ask for your help. I'm trying to reach 1,000 subscribers by the end of March. I really appreciate it if you would subscribe and help me out. Let's continue.
We don't have enough fuel to feed the fires.
The forest of Fangorn lies on our doorstep. Burn it.
Yes.
Saruman believed himself Sauron's equal, but he was never truly in control. He convinced himself that he could outplay the Dark Lord, but in reality, Sauron used Saruman just as he used countless others before him. Think about this.
The power of Isengard is at your command.
Sauron, Lord of the Earth.
The moment Saruman used the Palantir of Orthanc, he was already lost. Sauron didn't even need to dominate him. He only needed to let Saruman's own greed and fear do the work. He built an army in service to Sauron, all while lying to himself that he was acting independently. He destroyed his only real allies, leaving himself vulnerable when his own plans failed. This is what makes Saruman's fall so tragic. He thought he was a master of manipulation, but in the end, he was just another pawn.
We must join with him, Gandalf. We must join with Sauron.
Saruman's defeat at Helm's Deep and the destruction of Isengard was just the beginning of his humiliation. But his true punishment was far greater. He was denied redemption. When Gandalf offers him a chance to repent, Saruman refuses. His pride will not allow him to admit his failure, so instead, he withers away, stripped of his power, locked in his own prison. When he is finally killed by Grima Wormtongue, his spirit tries to flee, but he is rejected. The Valar do not permit him to return to Aman. Saruman, once the greatest of the Istari, is left to fade into nothingness, a warning to all who would choose power over wisdom. Saruman's story is not just a tale of corruption, it is a cautionary lesson. His greatest mistake was not just his lust for power, but his belief that he was above all others. In his arrogance, he forgot what Gandalf understood. True strength does not come from domination, but from humility, wisdom, and the ability to inspire others. Saruman was doomed the moment he chose ambition over duty, and that is why his fall was inevitable. What do you think was Saruman's greatest flaw? Let us know in the comments. And if you enjoyed this deep dive, make sure to subscribe for more Tolkien lore. Thanks for watching, and as always, see you on the next one.